It's time for you to be your authentic, true self. What do I mean by that? You know exactly what I mean by that. It's about letting go and being vulnerable, baby. Being yourself. How easy is it to be yourself, yet how hard is it to be yourself at the same time? You know, as humans, when we're younger, when we grow up, it is so easy to be ourselves. And then some point along the journey, something happens to us to where we don't think that anymore. We don't believe that anymore. But I'm telling you today, you can go back to that. I promise you. You can go back to that, and that's why you clicked on this video. We're gonna be talking in depth about all of the things that you can do just by being yourself. Now, being vulnerable is the first step. Being vulnerable to be your authentic, true self is everything that you want. Now, I know you're probably clicking on this video because you do feel like you want to be more of your authentic self, or maybe you are just starting to think that you want to be more like your authentic self, or you're struggling to be your authentic self. Whatever you are, whatever it is that you're at in the stage of your life is perfect for you, right? But step one always starts with vulnerability. You got to ask yourself, how can I be more like myself? Can I be more weird? Sure, we can all be more weird, definitely. You know, a lot of us are probably wondering like, oh man, how do I get over that fear of wanting to, just worry about what other people think about me? And it's hard for me to be that authentic self. Well, I promise you, we're gonna get to that in the juicy details later in this video. I got a bunch of stuff written down here. But the number one thing that I can tell you right now is to stop seeking external validation. That's one of the main things that you can really do to be your authentic version of yourself. What does that look like when we're asking for external validation? Well, it could look like a lot of different things. It could be you showing up and just looking the way you want to look and being a little bit self-conscious about the clothes that you're wearing or whatever. Like for me right now, I could say, I don't like beanies, but this is my authentic self, So it's little things, it's good things, but staying true to yourself really requires you to stop seeking external validation. It sounds super simple, sounds super easy to do, but it's not, because we're humans. And I think that's the big point to it is really understanding that your opinions and your values and your happiness is for you to experience, not for, well, it is for other people to experience too, but it's mainly for you. And when you stop seeking this external validation for not everything that you do, I'm not saying we all have those tendencies to, try to get that validation every single time, but there is scenarios and beliefs that we do that every single time. For example, maybe you just like looking good, and that's not a bad thing. You like dressing up, you like looking good, you got your makeup on, whatever you want to do, your avatar looks cool, but you always get that external validation from somebody. It could be your partner. I mean, obviously that's pretty valid external validation, but sometimes these external validating factors kind of control us, and they kind of imagine this reality that isn't quite authentic to ourselves. And when you stop doing that, you start being more authentic. So that's definitely step one, is just completely stop seeking external validation. You can obviously seek external validation in other areas, but if you're realizing that it's controlling your life and controlling the way that you feel about something specifically that shouldn't, well, it's time to let that go. So that's the first thing. Second thing that I have written down here is celebrate your unique qualities. You're gonna wanna highlight the importance of recognizing and owning your strengths, quirks, and passions. You gotta feel like you own it, dude. You gotta feel like you own this. Whether you're a boy or a girl or whoever you are, young or old, it doesn't matter. Own who you are. It's so much easier said than done, but also at the same time, it's not. It's actually the opposite. If you own who you are, you're gonna show up unapologetically no matter who you are or what you do or how weird you might think you are, or what other people might think. Boom, 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 back to those other seeking external validation. If we're at the point where we celebrate our unique qualities that are unique to us, and obviously other people have them, but it might not be the most normal thing, you just gotta love it. You just gotta fall into it. And I know it's a lot easier said than done, but I promise you, the more you seek those qualities and embrace those qualities of yourself, the better you're gonna feel towards how you are authentic to your true self. Now, how does this impact our relationships? If I go from being someone who's maybe authentic, I mean, we all totally are authentic in our own selves, but are we truly being that maximum level of authenticity? And, the question is like, what happens when I embrace all my qualities? Weird or not, what if I just embrace being me? Like for me, I'm just gonna embrace being Anthony. Like that's what this whole channel is all about, just embracing who I am, not caring who thinks about what. This is gonna find the right people. And that's also a part of it too, is understanding that you aren't going to please everyone in every situation. It's just not gonna happen. But you will find and appreciate those people that are going to appreciate what you have to say, are going to love who you are. You will find those people that will be looking for something that is authentic. And trust me, people can breathe, they can feel authentic, but they know when you're being authentic, right? So I think really focusing on just understanding that you can celebrate your own qualities, man, whether you like them or not. There could be things that you don't like about yourself. Like for instance, one of my qualities that I think is a weird part of this is my body, this is a physical thing, but I got a big nose. I got a big Italian nose, and when I was a kid, I hated it. I was like, why do I have such a big nose? I want to get a nose job when I get older. And then I'm like, as I got older, I learned to love that part of myself. And whatever that part of yourself is, I don't know why this is coming up, but I guess someone had to hear this, but it is okay to be you. Even if it's something you can't help. I can't help the fact that I have a big nose and I'm Italian. Can't help it, but honestly, it's a part of who I am, and I hated it when I was younger, but I learned to love it. So it's almost like about letting go of this stigma of, oh, I need to have a nice nose, or oh, I need to have all this money, or oh, I need to be more sociable, or whatever. You could start with where you are right now and understand that that is okay. You're at the perfect spot. So keep that in mind. Next thing I have written down though is overcoming fear of judgment. So sharing strategies for facing the fear of criticism, such as focusing on growth, practicing self-compassion, and surrounding yourself with supportive people. So I think this is a big one too, is obviously we all wish that we had friends that would totally support us in anything that we do. And some of us do have those people, and that's great. If you have those people in your life, that's great. But if you don't worry. You are your own backbone, bro, girl, whoever you are, whoever I'm talking to. Sorry, I have a bad habit of saying bro, dude, all those things. So we're gonna kind of move past that. But when you truly overcome the fear of judgment of others, this is when you can truly be your most vulnerable, most unapologetic version of yourself. And we're talking about this because I feel like you are on the cusp of something really big, something different, and it requires you to unapologetically be yourself. You can't get to that new version of yourself by being someone you think you are, but you're not, and not really truly expressing who you are, because those feelings that you have and those expressions and everything about who you truly are needs to be authentic in order to move to this next section of your life. And I know you feel this. I know that you feel like something huge is coming. I just want to remind you that things will get better when you just be yourself. Completely be yourself. Now, I'm not saying go murder someone if you're a murderer. That's not the case. I'm saying be who you are without understanding or worrying too much about what other people think about you. Because when you show up authentically, you allow other people to show up authentically. And I think that's the best thing. That's truly the best gift, is when you can show up authentically for yourself and understand that it is only for yourself, but it affects others. It's almost like a leading by example thing. Like if you want to learn how to meditate and you want your whole family to meditate, you're going to start meditating just to set the example. And whether they do it or not is up to them. But you are setting the example. You are being that authentic version of yourself. So whatever it is that's holding you back, that you feel like is not allowing you to be your true self because you're not allowing yourself to be authentic in that area of your life. It could be your whole life. It could be a small little thing. It could be a little thing, or it could be the baby Yoda back there, So you just gotta allow yourself to overcome this fear of judgment, because it's not easy, but you can do it. You can do it, I promise. If you really, really try, you can do it. And if you really dig deep, you could really do it. But anyways, I have one other thing that I have written down here, that's live in alignment with your values. So explain how identifying your core values and making choices based on them leads to a more fulfilling and authentic life. So again, this kind of really dives back into what are your values? Like, who do you want to be every day when you wake up? Who do you want to present yourself, or how do you want to present yourself to the world when you wake up? Are you being a person who is scared? Are you being fearful? Are you being worried about what other people are saying? Kind of going back to that judgment thing. Once you understand that you can really understand who you are at a deep level, you can be authentic. And when you are authentic, you just are. You know, like when someone's an authentic person, like for example, you guys might think this when I'm, making my videos, or whoever might come into play. You could say, wow, I really resonated with that message. It was really authentic. It wasn't fabricated. It was just a raw talk, a raw relationship, a raw conversation. And I think that's honestly what I really want to do. So currently I'm working on being my more authentic self. I thought I had to be a little bit more closed off, especially to the world. I think to the world, being authentic is the number one freaking thing, guys. I'm telling you, when you're authentic and don't care about what your friends think, don't care about what your neighbor thinks, don't care about what your family thinks about what you're doing. At the end of the day, this is a harsh truth, but we're all gonna be dead in 100 years. So why not live your life to the true, authentic version of who you are, regardless of how you feel about yourself? Because it's almost like, when you want something, you have to be really delusional about it. So when you're delusional about it, you could be delusional about your authenticity. You could be like, you know what, I like to dance, but I'm afraid to dance. But you could just decide, you know what, I'm gonna get up right now and just dance it out, like wiggle it out a little bit and just kind of like let the flow go and understand that maybe the reason why you didn't want to do that was because of what you thought other people would think. And I know we already touched on that, but I really think that that's a really big part of being truly authentic, is truly not caring what other people think. It's so hard to get beyond that point, but also that's a belief that you think. If you feel like it's hard to be your authentic self because of the way other people are going to perceive it, you're worried too much about what they're thinking. And instead, really try to hone in on those specific values that you want to become. Like, for example, if you want to be authentic in yourself and you just really are struggling, maybe, let's just say, for example, with just talking to people. It could be a very simple thing. You could have a lot of social anxiety, and that's a real thing. Trust me, I've been through it. I go through it frequently, not as much as I used to. I used to have a lot more social anxiety, and I'm sure you were the same. But you can move through that by putting yourself in scenarios that are uncomfortable. In order to be authentic, we have to get uncomfortable. We have to get out of our comfort zone, right? So it's gonna feel a little like, is this even working? I don't feel authentic. I feel like this is just making me too uncomfortable all the time. You're on the right path, my friend. You are on the right path, but you need to continue past the uncomfortable feeling. The more you go past that uncomfortable feeling, the more times it happens over and over again, whether it's a big or small scenario, you are upgrading. And I want you to know that you're doing good at what you're doing right now. You found this video for a reason. And the reason why you found this video is because you truly need to be more of your authentic self. I'm calling you out right now. And I'm calling myself out too, because it is a process. You're not just gonna show up one day and be like, boom, I got an iPhone, like, oh, here, I'm authentic. Look, I got my Lamborghini with my with my middle finger. This is my authentic self. It's not, hey, I'm in a Lamborghini, like, screw you. It's me, it's for me. This is who I am because it shows that I can do the things that I wanna do and say, I'm that person. I am that person. I'm authentically being me. I don't care if anybody thinks otherwise, because it doesn't matter. None of it matters. So just really give yourself a hard look. Give yourself that idea that you need to be authentic, and that is the only thing you are striving for right now, because everything else will fall into place when you decide to be your authentic self. When you really decide, okay, maybe I do care about what other people think. How could I change that? So look at yourself, look at your situation, maybe write down the things that you think are holding you back from being truly authentic to yourself. Whether it's a person, whether it's a thing, whether it's a job, whether it's a place, whatever that might be for you, really give it a good look and write it down. So I just really want you guys to learn that you can do it, dude. You can do it. Yeah, there goes me saying do it again, but sorry, it's a bad habit. I'm telling you, it's a habit. But when you truly are authentically yourself, you allow yourself to attract the thing that you want to be. And whether that thing is have a lot of money or feel peace, whatever that is, like most of us just want to feel peace in the scenario. Let's be honest. If we want to be authentic, what's the number one thing we want to do? Being authentic means being yourself and being peaceful and being in your element. You just want to be yourself. It's as simple as that. And I think the only way to get to that is just being uncomfortable and putting yourself in those uncomfortable situations to realize that you can get out of it. You can flow your way through it. I don't know. That's just what I keep hearing. But whoever's listening to this, thank you for watching this video. I really, really hope that you can truly be your authentic self and you can move forward in whatever it is that you want to do in your life, because it doesn't matter what anybody else wants for you. It's your life. Newsflash. And the more sooner you start being your authentic self, the sooner you're going to go ahead and really bring that dream life into reality. And I promise you that. I promise you that. I'm not a guru or anything like that. I'm just speaking from personal experience. From someone who used to have crippling social anxiety in high school to now being a social butterfly. And, you know, I have to account that for allowing myself to be authentic, allowing myself to be weird, allowing myself to think that whatever people want to think about me, they can think. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to matter in 100 years. What matters in 100 years is when I'm, you know, in heaven with God and looking down and saying, wow, in that life, I chose to be myself as authentic as possible, regardless of what other people were thinking. And I had a great experience due to it. So I just encourage you guys to really feel how you can be more authentic, because you do know how to feel more authentic. It's there. I just want to say that it's going to take a little bit of time, and understand that you're going to have to make yourself a little bit uncomfortable in this scenario. Now, I don't know who this message was for, but I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope that it really resonated with you. If it did, drop a like, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be posting it every single day. I'm going to try to go daily for an entire year and really try to make this a wisdom sharing experience, because I'm only here to share wisdom with you guys. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I love you guys. I'll see you later, and don't forget, be authentic.